Janet, can you hear us okay?
You're 100%. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, good afternoon, committee members and other parties of interest. The evaluation committee meeting for RFP 24-25029, the Progressive Design Build Services for the Waters Avenue Force Main Replacement Project, will be held in means by communications media technology. Active participation will be for committee members only, and provisions have been made for any member of the public desiring to have access to view the meeting. My name is Sybil Tucker. I am the procurement buyer for this project. And for the record, this meeting is being recorded and has been publicly noticed. The shortlisted firms have completed their presentations and interviews, and we will now proceed with the scoring phase of this project. The committee will now proceed with any scoring reconsiderations and finalization of the scores based on the written proposals and the oral presentations collectively. The scoring will be evaluated and based on the following criteria. Criteria 1, the Progressive Design Builders team ability and professional personnel for a maximum of 30 points. Criteria 2, the Progressive Design Builds experience with projects of similar type and size for a possibility of 35 points. Criteria 3, the Progressive Design Builders team approach the project for a possibility of 25 points. Criteria 4, the Progressive Design Builders resources and ability to meet the schedule for a possibility of 10 points or a overall possibility of 100 points. And of course, we had the DMDWBE bonus points in which the firms did receive, the shortlisted firms did receive 5 additional points. So I'm going to just recap what those scores were in the initial meeting, because as we know that this finalization of the scoring will be, we're just picking up basically from where those scores were from the initial evaluation meeting. And there can be an adjustment in the scores based on what was learned in the presentation. So I'll start with the first shortlisted firm, Amici Engineering Contractors, LLC. For criteria 1, there was a consensus score of 25. Criteria 2, consensus score of 25. Criteria 3, consensus score of 19. Criteria 4, consensus score of 8 for a total of 77 points. And with the additional 5 points, bonus points, their total was 82 points. For Kimmons Contracting, for criteria 1, the consensus was 27 points. Criteria 2, the consensus was 26 points. Criteria 3, the consensus was 18 points. Criteria 4, the consensus was 9, for a total of 80 points. And with the additional 5 bonus points, the year total was 85 points. Quality Enterprises USA, for criteria 1, the consensus was 23 points. Criteria 2, the consensus was 26 points. Criteria 3, the consensus was 20 points. Criteria 4, the consensus was 9 points for a total of 78 points. And with the additional 5 bonus points, the total was 83 points. For Westra Construction Corp, for criteria 1, the consensus was 26 points. Criteria 2, the consensus was 31 points. Criteria 3, the consensus was 20 points. Criteria 4, the consensus was 9 points for a total of 86 points. And with the additional 5 DMDWBE bonus points, the total was 91 points. So with that, I will go ahead and turn the meeting over to the committee chair to begin the discussion and the finalization of the scoring at this time.
So we'll go over each criteria for each conductor. We're starting with Amici. For the criteria number 1, we currently have a score 25. On the presentation, to me, still reflects a 25-point score. I'm not sure if you guys are looking for changing your score based on. We have different opinions of the scoring. And this is for the project team where they showed their team, they gave us their publications.
They did talk about that the Amici is relatively new, the name. So, but the people involved in the project had a lot of experience working together. So, that would be the only thing that might change the score for me, but it wouldn't change it a lot, maybe a point. But, yeah,
Well, they have 20 years of experience working together, and they have, like you mentioned, these companies new. And they have a lot of work experience together, and
Michi and Shen.
and they also mentioned that they have local firms here that they're working with. And they also show where they had tons of experience with different large file sites and diameters too. Oh, but that's for a second, yeah.
Different
Um,
criteria.
Yeah. So, but looking at the scoring for the score 25, it's, they're towards the higher rank, 25 to 30, because the scoring for the criteria for that one,
The 30 max.
30 was the max. The
Yeah.
next one is from 25 to 30, so they were already within the right high range of the highest scoring.
Yeah, yeah, they are already pretty high.
Mm.
So. Yeah, so 25 puts them on the low end of that, the 25 to 30 is the range for that, criteria. So they're right on the bottom end of that criteria. Does any?
I had that, I had scored them lower and adjusted to a consensus of 25. To get high end to 22, 25 is, that's pretty solid score. I agree with the portion of their designer and their contractor didn't have a big relationship here, but they had a relationship elsewhere.
Mm.
And so, I don't know if it's I don't know if it's a wash or we have, one more point, but I don't know that it's gonna. I'm just saying, I'm open for it, but I'm not, it's not a big deal to me.
So yeah, you were originally lower. I was originally higher, which was why I think it made a big point, but,
Mm.
Yeah, I had 22 the original round and 25, and it's still close. You read.
It's lower.
It's like,
you were lower, he was lower, I was
It
higher.
was higher.
well, I mean, but I'm just saying, if you go, you're not in the walk on water system, but I ain't met anybody yet that can walk on water, so ain't nobody ever gave a 30. It's, you show me when you see one, let me know, and then I'll give a 30, okay?
Yeah.
But so I gave him 22 and we moved it up to 25, but I mean, if you want, if y'all want to have more discussion about it, I mean, I'm cool with that. That's all I
Want
got.
to vote on it,
We can vote for it too.
whether we give him another point or
Yeah.
not? Okay.
Okay. So
I'm good.
who's in
Give him
agreement?
one
to
point,
that
that's
one
fine.
point?
Yeah,
Okay.
I would vote to give one more point.
yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
Good.
All in favor?
Aye, so I get.
Okay.
So one more
Argument
point.
is 26.
So, Alicia, 26.
26.
26.
Consensus is to
26.
increase it
26.
to 26.
Yes.
Yeah. First year one. Yeah.
Okay, the second criteria is the firm's experience with projects of similar type, similar size and type. Like I said, they did mention the projects that they have with the pipelines. The current score is 25, which is just the fourth ranking of it. So they're still in the highest, not highest, but second highest. They did show successful completion of projects in terms of type and size. And their firm proposed method are average to provide the level of service required for the project. On the presentation that they gave to us, I still felt that they still had the same scoring. There was something for me that showed it to go higher.
Yeah, I didn't see anything to change my score on that one.
Yeah, no, again, I mean, I gave him a 25, but we said on it, I gave him a 28, excuse me. But that's still in that quartile, 22, 23. I don't feel that,
Okay,
that was change my score.
no change?
Okay, so no change for
No
the second
change for
criteria.
Okay, so the criteria two, the consensus is to leave the score as is, correct?
Correct.
Fine, yeah,
And 25, yeah.
yeah. Mm.
The criteria three, which is the designers, progressive design builder team approach to projects. They did mention the material that they will be using for this project. And they talked about sequencing and about the permitting and possibly expediting the process. On the presentation. The current score is 19, which puts them towards the second highest tier.
Mm.
So I feel okay with that. They also, I don't see anything that made it increase it on my side.
Same here.
No difference.
Sorry.
19. Same, yeah.
So the consensus is for the score to remain at 19, correct?
Correct.
Mm.
And then the last criteria, which is the teams, resources, and ability to meet schedule. From the presentation, they talked about, their team resources, and they show how they did analysis and the future. They also talked about how they could do scheduling for that. I didn't see anything that could add to that scoring on my side. So for me, I'm okay to leave it as is, as 8.
Leave it the same as mine.
No change.
Same.
No
Hey,
change.
I had an 8 too.
Yeah, no change.
So
So
criteria,
the consensus is to leave the score at 8, correct?
Mm.
yes.
Yeah.
Second company is Siemens Contracting Corporation. For the criteria number 1, which is the team's ability and professional personnel, we gave them a score 27. From the presentation, they did mention that they have 41 years locally here in Tampa. They have over 101 years for construction. They also did mention their personnel has experience with urban areas. Currently, they do have a score of 27, and they also mentioned, I think, that they had 16 projects with Scantic, so that's something they also mentioned together.
Okay.
So the current criteria, like I said, is a 27, which puts them, like I said, on the highest tier. With their project personnel level experience, and they're gonna be qualified. On my thinking, I don't see anything that made it increase it higher than 27 for them. So I'm okay with the score of 27 for Kimmons on their team personnel.
Yeah, I'm with you. Same.
Same.
Yeah, 27.
Go with 27.
So the consensus is to keep the score at 27.
Criteria 1.
The second criteria, which is the builder's experience with type of similar size and type and size. We gave them a score of 26. On the presentation, I really didn't see, they mentioned harbor isles and the experience and everything they required, the micro tunneling and how also experience that they have with the urban and downtown corridor, the site locations. Front score is 26. Their scoring right now is on the second highest, which is the prime has more adequate successful experience with the recent 5-year projects, types and sizes. I don't recall if they mentioned the type of material sizes that they were for downtown for the projects that they mentioned. I know they mentioned location wise, but I don't recall if they mentioned sizes.
Slides on, they have the 27 different urban pipelines.
Yeah.
With the extension on these, and
They talked about the 16-inch force main downtown too.
Yeah, but I wasn't quite sure which other sizes they had.
That's 42 or it's 50. 48 or something with a microphone.
I put time for Harbor Island.
Yeah, the Harbor Island.
But it's the same, it's Harbor Island, it's downtown.
Okay.
But,
They also mentioned they've done some work on waters, like some repair work, I think.
Repaired work of waters. And they also they mentioned something was public work that they did a project with, so they had.
yeah, that's not germane.
But that's towards the other project.
That's not germane to what we're asking them.
Yeah, that's for the third qualification. I think we're getting ourselves. So just on the experience with similar types and sizes, we gave them a 26. Just because I did like that they mentioned the urban location and how tight they are, I would like to increase it to 1 point at 27.
I was thinking the same, maybe a point,
Yeah.
because I was impressed with their.
Yeah.
All their experience
That
down
was the
to.
one that had plus points on too.
Yeah.
So.
Well, 27.
So
Well, I originally gave it 28, just to let you know. Let you know. I came down to your level. That's okay.
I came down on that one too.
I came down also.
So we can,
But yeah,
based on this, I think we should go up more. Would it be okay to go up to 28 or something? I'm gonna say 27 or 28.
28,
I'm good with 28.
28. It's good.
Well, that's it.
Harbor Island is Harbor Island. Harbor Island. It's easy.
It's in down.
Okay.
It's all, it's
Okay. I know. This is small island. It's small
still a
island.
city
It's a
limit.
very tight area too.
Yeah, I know.
Street.
Okay.
Yeah.
so 1 or 2 points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I, like I said, I gave it 28, I don't,
Okay.
the consensus at 26.
Yeah. Okay.
I
Yeah, and the-
I mean, their experience. is
Yeah, 28
is
fine,
impressive. I mean.
They did mention the urban location and.
Yeah.
I was very impressed with how they mentioned those locations. and like-
I agree.
Well,
Yeah.
it's very local and you have a lot of foot traffic, which is, you have quite a bit of area. But
Yeah, that's good.
area.
It's good. 28.
28.
Yeah.
This is for criteria two is 28.
Increase to 28.
Yeah.
For criteria number 3, which is a team's approach to project. These were they mentioned that they had experience with that certain location, and then they mentioned those 2 crews starting from.
Yeah, the 3 crew approach
With a
and
3 crew approach.
the open, trying to do open cut as much as possible.
Yeah,
Which I
to-
like.
to look
I like
at the
that.
locations, but I did like the open cut just because, I also deal to like that if the pipe won't be that deep for maintenance, is something that you have to do with
Okay.
as easily.
And they know our specs really well too.
Yeah, well, I don't mention our aspects, so it's a good up.
Yeah.
But I did like this mention is they did the public work job, so they know the location. They also mentioned the open cutting for the low maintenance on our side, but pipe river breaks, we will access it. So, currently they're at 18, which the 18 is the second highest here.
The one,
No, 7. 18 is.
They were overscored in this one.
Yeah. Sorry, what can
yeah, no, they're the second.
yeah,
I had gave them, I had gave them a 19. But I don't agree. I mean, I agree with the cut and cover, but that's also the thing that's unknown when they start talking about, oh yeah, we're just gonna go deep, we have to put a pipe in the ground. There's a lot of pipe we go to put in trenches and we can't because there's wires from other people and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But I gave them that, if you wanna, you feel, when you wanna. I gave them 18. I mean, yeah, excuse me, originally I gave them a 19,
Okay.
I
with
would,
consensus with 18.
I would like to increase it to 19, just like they did like their
So maybe-
method approach for this.
I'm good with increasing.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Our consensus will
Well,
be like,
Yeah.
point.
So the
Yep.
consensus is increase it to 19?
Yes.
Oh,
last criteria, which is the team resources and ability to make schedule.
Mm.
Um. Currently, they are second, they're in a second tier. I still think that they meet that criteria where they should good understanding of approach to scope and schedule for budget. Um. They did mention that, right now they don't see any issues with delays for pipe materials. And they also mentioned the availability of their crew to start right away since their resources are busy concentrating on this project. But we're looking at a score of 9. I don't see any difference from it yet.
I don't want to. I'd say stay the same.
Same.
No.
Yes.
So the consensus is to remain at 9, correct?
Mm.
Yes. The third company is Quality Enterprise US Inc. For criteria number 1, which is the team's ability and professional personnel. We gave them a score of 23.
Mm.
Which is also puts them on the second highest tier.
Mm.
I know that they mentioned that their current companies have, well, not company, but their current team has significant projects that are going to do together as a collaborative team. They also mentioned the MOT and personnel, so they have been able to get, they have people with great safe plans and all that. I do not see anything that will make it increase it for myself, other than the 23. I did like how they mentioned the personnel and the work that they will be doing together with the other team. I
I didn't have any change on it.
didn't have any changes on which brings it.
No,
No change.
no, it was early 23,
Mm.
so I have 23, yeah.
So the consensus is to keep it at 23 points?
The second criteria, which is a team experience with projects of similar size and type. We gave them currently a score of 26. Which also puts them on the second highest tier. I did like that they showed us their project that they did in Miami-Dade. That's Miami, I like that project. And they also gave us an idea of how they would, do kind of similar projects for us.
Crowded, right?
It's a very crowded area, which is kind of similar to what we have doing ours too. And then they also mentioned how they work together with City of Miami to
Mm.
kind of be able to close some of the areas and the impacts to the residents. But that was one of the projects I saw for them. At this time, I'm okay with the score that they have, which is a score of 26.
Mm.
Based on their presentation, I didn't see anything that will increase it on my side.
Yeah, I think I would say leave it the same.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I had originally 26, I didn't see anything that, they were offering, made any big difference for anything, so, like, 26.
I'm fine with that.
No change?
So the consensus is to leave the score as 26.
Yeah.
The criteria number 3, which is the team's approach to projects, just approach to projects, yes. Like my mind's kind of, we currently have a score of 20 for them, which is, puts them on the highest criteria for this project. But they didn't give us the example of Miami-Dade. They also mentioned that they have, a lot, like they could be their own supplier force concrete and crushed stone, so they won't have to look for elsewhere. And they mentioned that we're gonna be able to meet MBE goals for the project, for design and their supplier for it.
So, just to bring this so everyone knows that they don't get 100% credit for MBE for materials that they buy.
Really?
You get 50%.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, they're minority.
Yeah.
They're buying equipment from themselves. They can't say I'm using 100%.
Mhm.
It's only 50%.
Only
Just letting you know that. But I mean, I saw what they were saying, but
Yeah.
sure. I don't know if we're gonna use enough of that material to make a difference for them.
Yeah, I was just thinking.
I'll just let you know that. a lot of
No,
people-
I didn't know that. Thank you. For this criteria for their approach, they currently do have a score of 20. I didn't see anything on the presentation that would make me increase their score on my side. That made me want to say hit they added additional for me. I'm okay with a score of 20 for them.
Yeah, I might go like another point, just because I like that they had their own HDD, and on paving, they have in-house paving, HDD. And you mentioned the mining and the concrete. And then they also have their own survey. They have in-house survey too. I was just thinking, yeah, I mean, with all that we might see some cost savings with them, with a lot of the in-house stuff that they have. But, yeah, I mean, that was, and I had previously scored them a little higher. I think I originally had a 22. So, yeah, I mean, I was, if anything, I would go maybe another point.
21.
I'm good with adding a point too. I mean, they covered a lot of stuff. That
Okay.
improves too.
Having a concrete plant's a big plus. That's
Yeah,
what-
it's huge.
Add a lot of internal improves and resources.
Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah.
Plus they discussed open cuts and stuff too.
They did.
Yeah.
I mean, they also have a 3-year warranty too. which-
Notice the way for the 3-year one. 10-year warranty. Oh, hey. Listen to for a 2-week vacation in Hawaii.
But I do like
Oh, that's,
some people should-
the price is right.
Chris Farley was selling warranties too.
Okay, so are we,
I thought it was a good thing having a.
No, but that's their own crews, their own plans,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Chris
I
said
mean,
too.
But if they complain one time, there's something, the concrete plan.
So I think we're to increase it for 1 point then?
Yeah.
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 So the consensus is to increase to 21, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
For criteria 4, which is the team's resources and ability to meet schedule, we mentioned how they do have their own crews, which we would give them points for the approach. I didn't see anything other than that to give additional points, so I'm okay with their 9 for this one.
Yeah, I'm okay with leaving that too.
Right.
So the consensus is to leave it at 9, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
For West Traction Corporation, for criteria number 1, which is the team's ability and professional personnel, the current score is a 26, which does put them on the highest tier. They mentioned the project that they have done together with it, and they have 9 design build projects recently they have done, the company has together. Their personnel, from what I saw from I really like their personnel. But I didn't see anything that will make me increase points for them. So I'm okay with the 26.
Good. Thank you.
I mean, dumb.
Well, I don't know if we're gonna put it in that quick category.
Mhm.
Did you
I didn't say anything, no, but
You're not gonna say.
I'm on the fence on it just because,
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
they're a really
I'll say
good
something,
team.
I'll say something. The ability of the professional personnel, they were the only one where if you looked at their public outreach where they actually said how they executed. Right, they actually had a chart, right, to show the arrows, go this way, go that way. We start with the people get out ahead, right? To get out public outreach, get out public notice, go put up billboards and tell everybody how much you love them and you'll give them free coffee. And then as they go along, they integrate them into the whole, the community gets integrated into what's going on. So they're only moving 1,000 feet or 500, whatever it is. They're not closing 2,000-3,000 feet. And so they did talk about having their a public outreach person, Valerie.
But I just think it would let me more approach.
There's a more in a different category.
Okay.
Well, this is team, but the other thing is they had their whole team.
I like where you're going.
They
We'll
had,
get there in a few minutes.
Yeah, we'll get there.
I mean, they had, well,
It's a huge, people don't, it's not, people don't realize how much of this problem it is until you gotta deal with that problem. Because the worst thing people can do is not know what's going on.
Yeah,
As long as they may not like it, but if they're aware of it, they can say, yeah, I got that. But when you come home and there's a bulldozer sitting in your driveway and they're saying, well, we'll get to it tomorrow, it's just parked down the street somewhere. So that's all I got for that.
I still think that's more like an approach though.
Then I gave the Cumin, the Western 26 was the original 26,
26.
yeah, 26.
and this is 26.
If you guys wanna increase the race of the team with the,
No, I was just bringing it up that
No,
I
no.
didn't see anybody else with, even in the risk mitigation, I didn't see anybody else that really explained what they were gonna do.
and I have that for the team approach, but this is mostly on the team.
But I think their team
I
had
do, because I even
a
wrote
lot of experience together.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen-
That's right. They had a designated person as a field ambassador.
Yes,
That
That's right.
that speaks volumes.
Yes.
I got you. We're gonna get there.
Right.
So right now, let's wrap this category up so we can.
Get out of here. So they snap Kelly up and get out of here. I was living that.
26. No, no change,
so
no change.
Are we,
We're good.
for this one, are we okay with 26?
Yes.
No
Just
change.
for this
Okay.
particular.
No
Okay,
change.
so criteria one, the consensus is to keep the score at 26.
Yep, yep.
Okay.
For criteria number 2, which is the progressive team build experience with similar projects of size and type. They mentioned delivery, which is very similar to the one we're doing
Yep.
right now. So that was a bigger project that they mentioned, and they also mentioned the lessons learned that they found out from that project in particular. Their current score for that one is a 31, which is the highest tier for it. I'm on the fence because I kind of want to add a point on this one because I really like that they mentioned how similar they are with real memories.
Then they had plenty other in their categories that they
Correct,
did.
and they also mentioned with size, pipe, diameter, they were very close for what we needed to do for this timeline for this project, based on their experience with the other projects.
Yeah, 24 and 36.
Yeah.
And 24 speeds and 30 and 36.
And then they
Your neighbor is 24.
Yeah, and they also mentioned that they did urban projects with City of Tampa because they're working for their replacement of their lines. So,
Yeah, they're right here.
so I would actually like to add it 32 if we could for this
And
project.
then they listed plenty of projects with a lot of linear footage and stuff too on design build, so I'm fine with it.
Fine. Fine with that.
I'm fine with it. Just one more point.
Kelly,
Yeah,
okay, so the consensus is to add, to increase the score to 32, correct?
Yeah,
Yes.
let's do.
Yes.
And then the final one, the criteria number 3, the team's approach to the project. The current score is 20.
Mhm.
That we mentioned previously, they did mention their how robust will be doing public communication to the public. And then they also mentioned having the personnel on site to make sure there's a communication with someone in there instead of going back and forth with us and them. So that was for the approach. Like Kelly also mentioned, they mentioned their shorts and half areas that we're gonna be doing, the short areas. So that was a big thing that was for me, something that we're looking at saying, hey, yes, other companies also mentioned shorting areas, but this was what the people saying, hey,
Most people.
we did this and this is the area. So I really like their approach with how they were gonna have communications to the public and their personnel on site.
Mhm.
And they also mentioned that crossing for the permitting for Rocky Creek.
The other Rocky Creek.
So that was something innovative that I liked. If we need to go that route instead of going to Rocky Creek, directly getting the permitting. Another way to avoid the permitting.
Yeah, they looked around for alternates,
Yeah.
brought it up, you know, and they talked about open cut, the HDD, the jack and board, breaking up the project. Did anybody mention the field ambassador service?
What's that guy? He left. Oh, he's, and come on, man, still came up.
Yeah, no, and they discussed median work zones and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
And they show how they were gonna do the connections to the
That's right.
force mains that
Try.
they were trying. Well, a method that they could do for that.
Yeah,
Yeah, 3 different cases.
Yeah.
Correct.
They really thought it through.
So I would actually like to increase it to 22.
That's fine.
Which one?
she wants to add 2 points is what she's saying.
A3.
Wow.
No, you know, last time I gave him. No,
What is the consistency here? Because I need to know. To me,
last time I gave him a 2021 and it got shot down to a 20. Okay,
I definitely want to go up.
20,
One or
22.
I think everybody gave them a 20 in this category last time, but.
it's the consistency was, but everybody's.
I gave it 20 before also, but I learned more
That
that.
it, I worked on 24 now, Brian, I'm sorry.
I said 1 or 2.
I'm fine, I was ready, willing to give them a point, so if you all will discuss it too, I'll agree with you, if that's the.
2,
Yes.
22.
So are we okay with this over 22 for this one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll go back to 2 there.
So the consensus is to increase to 22 point.
The last criteria, which is the firm's resources ability to meet schedule. Like we mentioned already, they talked about how they already have previous experience of meeting similar type of pipe diameter size and miles per project. I didn't see anything other than to increase our effect is 9, so I'm okay with keeping it as.
The one impressive thing they gave was their past experience of, what was it? Not 6.9 miles per year
Yeah.
on average
Okay.
versus 2 miles per year. So, I mean,
They already had that on the proposal too.
Yeah, that was in the.
Yeah.
proposal.
that's true. Right.
So
Yeah, that
I'm
was a
okay with
criteria for schedule management.
Okay, yeah.
There's a draft in there with all of that too. So,
Okay.
yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't think we can get anybody a perfect 10. anymore.
You know, I'm good with the same score then.
9.
I'm okay with no change.
9.
So the consensus is to leave the score at 9, correct?
Yes.
Okay, let me just recap and give out the final scores here. So for Amici Engineering, criteria 1, we have a consensus of 26. Criteria 2, consensus of 25. Criteria 3, consensus of 19. Criteria 4, consensus of 8. They did receive the 5 bonus points for a total of 83 points. For Kimmons, criteria 1, we have a consensus of 27. Criteria 2, consensus of 28. Criteria 3, consensus of 19. Criteria 4, consensus of 9. They did receive the 5 bonus points for a total of 88 points.
Okay.
For Quality Enterprises, criteria 1, we had a consensus of 23. Criteria 2, consensus of 26. Criteria 3, consensus of 21. Criteria 4, consensus of 9. They also received the 5 bonus points for a total of 84 points. or Westra Construction. For criteria 1, we had a consensus of 26, criteria 2, consensus of 32, criteria 3, consensus of 22, criteria 4, consensus of 9. They did receive the 5 bonus points for a total of 94 points. Is everyone in agreement with those scores?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay, so with that said, we have Webster ranked number 1, and based on that will be the recommended firm for award of this project. At this time, that we're gonna conclude the oral presentations and evaluation meeting. Committee chair will be tasked with providing a summary and the recommendation summary to, then I will post or prepare and post the notice of intent to award. And from that, there will be the 5-day protest period. If no protest is received, then we would move forward with a recommendation to the board for approval to award to the highest ranked firm, Westra. So with that said, I wanted to make mention that the cone of silence is still in effect. For those that are the proposers, please keep that in mind. You are still under that cone of silence, so please do not reach out to committee members or anyone else besides myself in regards to this project. So there's nothing else. It's going to conclude the, again, presentation and evaluation meeting for RFP 24-25029, Progressive Design Build Services for the Waters Avenue Fourth Main Replacement Project. And we want to thank you all for your time and efforts towards this project. That's going to conclude for today. Thank you so much.
well,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. If we don't have, we can sign some paperwork.
Yeah, give me one.
Yes, I remember.
put my pen away.
They resigned, man.
Anyway,
There you go, that one, sign underneath me, that blank one.
so